Segment 3.
I'd like to share a mental model of sorts that I think is grounded in Jesus' mobile rabbinical school. If you think back to the disciples and Jesus as they began their life together, they were doing life and he just kind of set in motion with them. And when you step back and watch him work, it's really amazing how good he was at it. But he was training them in preparation for the various roles that they were called to fill in his kingdom, and leadership and various kinds of fruitfulness that they would bring forth throughout their lifetimes. But much of the time, they themselves weren't even aware of what was going on. But if you look at it, he was working at a process of initiating interaction among them in the context of real life experiences as life happened. So, for instance, he would sometimes identify kingdom principles. So as they're walking along, he says, "Hey, look at that wheat field over there. Look, that wheat is really ripe." And he talks about, praying that the Lord of the harvest would raise up laborers for the harvest. Or they'd be going by a vineyard, and the vineyard owner is gathering his workers and sending them out. And so he reflects with them about the dynamics of the workers and their commitment to the vineyard owner, and he says, "Hey, take a look at this fig tree. You notice it's not bearing fruit. There's something wrong here. And the principle is, if it doesn't bear fruit at some point, it's going to be cut down. We're going to fertilize it. We're going to work with it." So he's doing life and beginning to engage them, getting them to engage, to become more reflective on what's going around them and see how the kingdom and the principles of the kingdom are being expressed in that process. He also put them into situations, sometimes I think intentionally, it looks like, and he would have them respond to the situation. For instance, they've got the crowd gathered, and he says to them, "Now look at all these people. How are we going to feed them?" And he just kind of looks at him, and they're like, "I'm not sure. I don't know. What was the plan?"